Hey guys, who wants to see some packs be opened? So, Webcore was very generous to me and sent me a new collector box for the new set here, The Lost Caverns of Ixalan. And let's see what's in the vault right now so I can tell you what exactly they sent me. They didn't send me Quintorius Can yet, but they did send me the Special Masterpiece bundle. So this has Mana Crypt in it, and we'll talk about this card in a bit. And this one was spoiled a bit on their Facebook page a while ago, so if you're not following them on Facebook, it's not a bad idea. Or actually, I think this was actually Instagram. It was an Instagram spoil, but this card, it looks so good. It's an artifact, so there are many ways to kind of cheat it out. But at the beginning of your turn, convert 3 gems to your Planeswalker's color. That's already very good for mono colored walkers and maybe even dual colored walkers. But Mana Field, the first card in your hand that can gain mana gains full mana, then you lose 9 life. So most of the time, you're probably not going to worry too much about losing 9 life if you can get a card like Atraxa out on the board for free that has lifelink and can gain back 7 of your life every turn that it attacks. So, very good card. Not too bad of a downside, but yeah, got that. Came with 2 booster packs. I believe they also sent me the green starter bundle. Just has a couple of booster packs in it for 99 cents. That's not terrible. The LCI Double Booster Bundle, which is $4.99, and I think this comes with okay, so it's just 2 booster packs and 2,000 runes. I feel like they need to give you more runes per purchase like this to be enticing, because it's really not hard to get 2,000 runes. I feel like the game economy right now, they really overvalue runes. Case in point, that one that spend 100 crystals for 10,000 runes. That is a really bad deal, I gotta say. And so that would be my suggestion for Webcore going forward, is if you're going to make runes a selling point, they have to be a lot more runes than that. 2,000 runes you can get in like one event that you play for free. So anyhow, let's go see what I got in these. Let's just start from the top and work our way down. Let's see what we can get in this. So here's the green booster pack, and let's look at the odds. So most likely to get commons and commons, but pretty good for a rare. 1 in 4 chance to get a green rare. And what we want here is Galta Stampede Tyrant. That is the chase rare for me right now. But yeah, alright. Over the Edge, destroying and target creature you can control explores too. Not bad. There we go. Exactly what I wanted. Convert 15 gems to green. Oh, by the way, I saw on Discord, I forget which channel, that somebody's Galta was not triggering right, and he seemed to be the only person that it wasn't triggering for. So if you happen to find this, definitely at first report it, but before you do so, try reinstalling your game, because I heard that also fixed a couple of cards not working correctly. Maybe there was like a faulty install. Sometimes, these things aren't perfect. But yeah, just throwing that out there as an aside, just a little PSA. Poison Dart Frog. Very cute card art on this one. When you make a match by swap, increase your mana bonus of the match color by 2 until end of turn. Then this creature gets Death Touch until end of turn. It is a 1/1 with reach for 9 mana. I don't love that, but if it didn't have any of that, it might be playable. Basking Capybara. That's an awesome. I love the art. This art is really cool in this set. I really enjoy the flavor of the set this time. And no, not just because I'm Mexican, although it does help a little bit. But yeah, Descend 4, at the beginning of your turn, if your Descend support level is 4 or more, this creature gets +2/+1. Yeah, Descend, I'm not totally sold on as a mechanic yet, but maybe it's really good in certain cards. I'll have to play around with more of these cards to figure that out. Pick one of the first 4 land or creature cards from a library to destroy the other cards. So does that mean you fetch one of the land or creature cards? Because that's not bad either. Getting some self-mill and fetch in a card, that's playable. So yeah, we wanted Galta. We got it. We got some other interesting cards that I'll look forward to mastering and figuring out how good they actually are. And let's see what else. Earthshaker Dreadmaw. When this card enters the battlefield, draw a card for each non-token creature you control. Then the first card in your hand gains 3 mana. Okay. That's not bad draw for green. Spelunking. When this board enters the board, draw a card. Then you have if you have a land card in your hand, then you can gain mana. That card gains half its mana. Okay. At the beginning of your turn, create a map token. Map tokens don't seem to be all that great. You have to match them just to... Is it discover or explore? I forget. But either way, it's one token. You have to match it to make it activate whatever it does. So I'm not super familiar with any of the cards from this set because they didn't do their traditional spoil a week or a few days before they released the new set. They kind of just released everything at the same time. So I'm learning about the cards kind of in real time. So I'm going through the cards right now just as much as you are. So that's probably why I'm spending so much time on each card per open. Dupes. Dupes. Dupe. Okay, Earthshaker Dreadmaw, that's definitely one that I'll have a decent time mastering. As Steve says, hi, poop tier. He uses much more colorful language than I will, but try and keep it PG for you guys. Yeah, looking at you now, Fazar. Keeping it clean for you. Voltec Archaeologist. When this creature enters the battlefield, pick one of the first 2 different artifact cards from your graveyard. Fetch that card, then draw a card. Okay. Definitely too expensive for a card of that effect. Helping Hand. Return the first creature that costs 8 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. This might be actually decent because think about if you build your deck around knowing exactly what card you'll pull from the battlefield, what creature, if you only have one creature that costs 8 or less in the graveyard, you will guaranteed pull that card from the graveyard onto the battlefield. So things like Healer of the Pride come to mind as something that's worth keeping around. So can definitely see some utility in the right deck. At the end of your turn, if you descended this turn, draw a card. It's a 1/1 with lifelink, but there's better. Oh yeah, I already have this card. I've been mastering a few cards in a Johnny lately, and I thought this was a decent little card to master. Quicksand Whirlpool. It's also interesting. One more. Tinker's Tote. When this support enters the battlefield or board, create 2 gnome tokens. When the support is destroyed, gain 6 life. Not good enough, especially for 12, jeez. Market Gnome. When this creature dies, you gain 3 life and draw up to 2 cards. Okay. Card is exiled during your turn. You gain 5 life. Okay, well that's interesting. This card, so you can just trigger this card for basically for free, gain 5 life. That's interesting. Is it good enough to put in most of my decks? No, but I like the idea of just triggering something upon exile because you just get to do things for free with it. It's like how Savior of Ollenbach was bugged for a while and that you can just trigger it from exiling from your hand. I think Gozmaster created a video where he just won the battle before even swapping. Or, yeah, I think he did all sorts of things with Savior before he ever swapped, and I think he won a battle with it. Goz, if you can chime in and clarify that for me, but I vaguely remember you doing something like that. Bartolomé del Presidio. When a card, or there are some funny names in this set because they're really going with the Spanish conquistador angle. And I don't know, it's funny to me for some reason. Vampire Knight, when a creature control. Okay, so you can maybe pair this with Guillaume. That might be fun. This cat and when this cat enters the battlefield, when this cool cat enters the battlefield, up to the first 3 creatures you control get +2/+1. Oh yeah, I was mastering this card. It's not bad. For newer players, it's not the worst creature you can use. For a Johnny. Quicksand Whirlpool. Cool. Alright. Now we got 2 boosters and 4 super packs? Alright. Didn't even realize they gave me so many. Not mad at that. Diamond Pickaxe. First creature gets +2/+2. When your first creature attacks, create a gold token. When the land support enters the board under your control. Okay, that can be kind of a combo. When you convert gems for the first time during your turn, this creature gets +1/+1. Okay. Couple of mediocre uncommons, but most uncommons are mediocre, right? Fanatical Offering, draw a map, then draw a card, then create a map token. This creature attacks, destroy the top 1 cards of your library. Oh, Corpses of the Lost. When this creature, or when this support enters the board, create 3 Skeleton Pirate tokens. So we'll look to see what the Skeleton Pirate is. When a non-token creature you control dies, loses reinforcement, create a Skeleton Pirate token. Okay. When your creatures die, you're replacing them with tokens. At the end of your turn, if you descended this turn, create X Skeleton Pirate tokens. X is the number of skeleton cards you control, including their reinforcement. Okay. So we'll see what the Skeleton Pirates do, and then decide what we think of it. Craft 1 artifact. When the support enters the board, create a blue golem token. When this card is crafted, exile this card and create a Master's Manufactory token. So we'll have to see what that is too. Alright, Skeleton Pirates. What are they? 2/1 pirates. Okay. So it kind of reminds me of way back in the day. What was it? Diregraph Harvest, when you create a zombie when one of your zombies die, it creates a new zombie in its place. So yeah, this can be a decent card. I don't think it's going to be like game changing or anything, but there are some interesting things I think you could do with this card, especially if you use it with a with an Anhelo loop. Yeah. Cool. If you need to summon creatures, that could be a good way of doing it. Yeah, I bet there's something broken you could do with this card, but I'll have to think about it more. And what does the Master's Manufactory do? When artifact support enters the board under your control, create a blue golem token. Okay. What is the blue golem? Whoa, it's a 4/4 artifact token. Okay. This is actually a really good uncommon because it's really easy to put an artifact support under your control right now. I think you can loop this with Guillaume because Guillaume creates an artifact support every time a creature enters the battlefield. Yeah, okay. Definitely trying this with Guillaume. All right, that's a good one. There's some synergy there. Cool. All right. Very excited about one uncommon. Zoiwa Lavaton. At the end of your turn, if your descent support level is 4 or more, each player discards a card, then deals 6 damage to any target. Okay, so what I've been noticing lately, and I'm going to use this to test, but most of the new discard, most of the cards that make a player discard is discarding from the top of your hand. And that's different than it's always been, where the default is discarding from the bottom of your hand. So we got to be careful if it's doing it for our side, but if it can be devastating to our opponent. And right now, discard is my least favorite type of deck to go against because I am a combo player, and if you keep discarding my combo pieces, I am not happy about it. Sanguine Evangelist. When your first creature attacks, your other creature get +1/+1 until end of turn. When this creature dies, enters the battlefield or dies, create a bat token. Bat token's only like 2/2. I don't think they're great. Destroy a random. Destroy first random opposing. You lose 10 life. Damn. Well, okay. Pairing this one with Angel of Suffering, which I don't see used as much as we used to. Because I think there are different ways to destroy our library, so I think people have kind of just moved off of her as a good strategy for that. But anyway, it's if you don't have AOS on the board, it's a very steep price to pay for just straight up removal. But it is untargeted, so it might be okay. There's a big downside, and you have to really have a way to counter that downside. So, yeah, jury's out on how I feel about that card. Another chance. So these are cards I already had before, so I won't go into them. First creature +1/+1, and then fights target. Okay, you get to at least target the creature you fight. So that's more useful in some ways than fight usually is. A lot of times you end up sacrificing a creature you don't necessarily want to sacrifice because you don't get to choose who to fight. Most of the time I prefer untargeted to targeted removal, but in that case we need to be careful about what we're going to target because there's a downside to our creature. As long as you control artifacts, creature gets +1. This creature enters the battlefield. Surveil 3. That's pretty good. It is a 17 mana common, but it's a 7/7 buy, so that's not bad. Then if another creature you control has a dinosaur artifact subtype, your opponent's first creature can't block. Who cares? I'm not too worried about making my opponent's creatures not block for the most part. Unless, you're going against Phyrexian Vindicator. But Surveil 3 is not bad. When you cycle, I'm noticing some cycle cards in this set. I don't know if it's enough to make a big difference. When you cycle this card, create a green dinosaur token. I think dinosaur tokens are just 3/3s. So, oops, Sunfire Torch, Staunch Crewmate. Creature enters the battlefield, pick one of the first 4 pirate or artifact cards from your library. Fetch that card. Yeah, there's better ways to fetch those things. So, probably not going to use it. Teacher dies. Oh, that's fine. It's -3, -1, only until end of turn. Those kind of things, they just have to be permanent, or else who cares? What was the thing that I accidentally skipped past? This guy, Sunfire Torch. At the beginning of your turn, your first creatures get +3/0 till end of turn. When your first creature attacks, you may destroy this card. If you do, deal 2 damage to target creature. I mean, if you just started the game and you have nothing else to put in your deck, you got your starter Chandra. Maybe you use this card. At the beginning of your turn, first creature gets +3. Yeah, it's a very much for a beginner type of card. It's not bad for beginners, but you will quickly grow out of that card. Cutzil, Malamet Exemplar. When you cast this creature attacks, this creature explores 1. Okay. Then if your opponent has more cards in your hand, then you draw 2 cards. Okay, well that's actually not that bad of a card. It's a good way for green and white to have some extra card draw. And then the Explorer, you get to trigger a decent amount of times per turn. So it is 16 mana though for a 3/3. So you're going to need other ways to make this a more powerful creature, but I like the effects. Not mad at that card. All creatures get that sucks. When this creature enters the battlefield, discover 2. Not bad. A 3/2 for 10. Discover is actually a pretty neat mechanic. If you guys aren't familiar with that one, I'll explain it a little bit. Get another one of the cat. Oh. Nurturing Bristleback. When this creature enters the battlefield, create a green dinosaur token. Cycle 3. Okay. Another rare. When this creature attacks, return the first vampire creature from your graveyard to play under your control. Then that creature gains haste and imminent death. Okay. It's a 5/4 for 9, which is not bad. And there's something you can do with this. Creatures that gain... I like that it gains haste. And you can target vampires. So it's definitely a combo card. It's one that I'll explore a bit more when I have a chance to. There's a lot that I need to explore now that I have all these cards to go play around with. When the support enters the board, your first creature gets +2/+1 and gains haste until end of turn. Okay. When you cast the support card with the artifact subtype, your first creature gets +1/+1. Then increase this card's level by 1. At the end of your turn, if this card's level is 5 or more, transform it. We'll see what happens when you transform it. Do I have the rest of these? Yes. Where we go? Oh, yeah. So discover. Pick one of the first X cards from your library, fetch that card, then that card gains half its mana rounded down. Move all the cards that weren't fetched this way to the bottom of your library. X is this card's discover value. So the next 2 cards, you get to choose one and put in your hand, give it half mana, and the other one gets to go to the bottom of your library. So very powerful set mechanic. Definitely the best one, and maybe the best set mechanic we've gotten in a while. So discover is a good mechanic. I'm really looking forward to using that one more. Oh, did I skip this one as well? Clay Fired Bricks, craft 3 artifact. When this support enters the board, oh yeah, craft. You may exile X cards with a specific subtype from your hand. X is this card's craft value. If you do, this card becomes crafted. When the support enters the board, if there are 6 or less white gems, convert 2 gems to white, then you gain 10 life. That's not bad. When this card is crafted, exile this card and create a Cosmium Kiln token. So what's a Cosmium Kiln? When the support enters the board, create 2 gnome tokens, then your creatures get +2/+2. What were the gnomes again? I forget. But it's not a very powerful effect, so should we worry about it? Probably not. Beginning of a turn, convert 2 gems to red. Okay. Beginning of a combat on your turn, first creature gets +1 in haste. So actually, it's not a bad little card. You give your first creature haste, and you get kind of a land to go with it, a land cave. Not bad. It's 13 mana though, so it's a bit expensive, but you get a lot of utility out of it. That might be a card I play around with here and there. Oh, this is going long. Sorry, guys. But I'm sure everybody who watches these probably just kind of skips around. +1/+3 and gains flying. When this creature enters the battlefield, or card, I keep saying creature, enters the battlefield, destroy the top 2 cards of your library, and then draw 1 card. Turn target creature to its owner's hand, destroy random opposing non-Vanguard support. It's a good effect, but it's 18 mana. That's a lot. For a card like that to really see a lot of use, probably has to be like max 12 mana to cast. When this support enters the board, destroy the top 3 cards of target player's library. Okay. Beginning of your turn, to descend support levels 2 or more. Target creature gets -X. X is the number of cards in your graveyard. Not powerful enough. When the support enters the board, gain stun counter 2. Exile this card and create a Guidestone Compass token. So I'm guessing all of these that have the flip side are lands. What is that on his hand? Fungal Fortitude. When this support enters the board, target creature gains enchanted. If this creature dies, return to the battlefield under your control. Beginning of your turn, this first creature is +2/+2 until end of turn. Not a bad effect. Will I use it a lot? Probably not. It is an enchantment aura, though. So there are cards that deal with auras. So, yeah. Daxos can fetch him. It might be a little bit more useful than I give it credit for now. But, anyhow, let's go look at the flips. Oh, still got another card. Gonna be all duped, so let's just get right on over and see what these are. Guided Compass. Okay, it creates an artifact. Beginning of your turn, target creature you control explores 1. That's okay. Iceberg token. This creature attacks first opposing creature, gains stun counter 1. That's not bad. An Iceberg Titan is 6/6. You know, that's not bad. But you do have to craft 4 artifacts to flip it. So maybe it is bad. Never mind. Let's see. Oh, is that it? Alright. Moving on. Got one more super pack. It gave me a lot of cards. First world problems. Going through these. Create a map token. At the beginning of your turn, target creature you control explores 1. Not good enough. Oops. Had my finger on the thing a little bit much. 2 white. Create a gnome token. Do we remember what gnome token is? I don't remember. Okay. We'll look at these. Oh, we got a mythic. I didn't even see which one. Mazatlanti, the Great Door. Mana field. Discard a card and draw 2 cards. Okay. At the beginning of your turn, destroy. If your descend support levels 4 or more, you may transform this card. So we'll see what the transform is. When this support enters the battlefield, deal 2 damage to the last opposing creature. Probably not great token that it comes with. Okay, Get Lost. It is a 5 mana card with a white card with flash. Destroy a random opposing creature. If you can't, destroy a random opposing non-Vanguard support. If you can't, destroy a random opposing artifact support. Well, that's weird. Why would you not be able to destroy an artifact support before? If it's not, do they mean a random opposing Vanguard support and they just typoed the non? Because that's the only way that part of the card makes sense. Create 2 map tokens under your opponent's control. That's a cool card. It's very cheap flash removal, like straight up removal for white. So that could be useful. I like it. Okay, so what was the flip of this? Descend to... What is Descend again? When you cast the first card with Descend, create a Descend support on the board. Okay, every time Descend support is matched, increase the Descend support's level by 1. If a card has a Descend value equal or less than Descend support level... Okay, so... Equal or less than the support. Okay, so you mostly don't want to match the supports, the Descend support to trigger things. Supports level 2 or more. Okay, maybe not. At the beginning of your turn, if your Descend support level is 2 or more, gain X mana. X is the number of cards in your graveyard. Okay. That can be really useful. We'll see how well it works in practice, but gaining X mana is always good. When an artifact support enters the board and your control your first pirate creature gets +1/+1. Well, I don't know. Any artifact support? Non-token? That can get pretty big with our buddy Guillaume. Craft 2 Dinosaur. When the support enters the battlefield, discard a card, then draw a card. This card is crafted. Exile this card and create a Mastercraft Raptor token. What is the Raptor? When this creature enters the battlefield, this creature power becomes X. That's always good. X is the number of dinosaur cards in your graveyard in exile. Okay. I wonder how big you can get that thing. Do you think it's big enough to justify all the hoops to jump through to do that? Most likely not. Okay, create a map token. Yeah, that kind of sucks. What were gnomes again? 1/2 tokens. Well, 2 white. It's going to take a while for your gnomes to get very big with just this card. So yeah, I can see why it's a common. Create X map tokens. X is the number of merfolk cards you control. Up to 3, including their reinforcements. And then map tokens. When this support is destroyed, target creature you control explores 2. So, yeah, I don't. That's why I don't think map tokens are all that powerful. They just don't do enough for that amount. Sure. Remind me later. All right, let's get into more fun stuff. We got more Ixalan booster packs. So these can have basically anything in them. Let's go check it out. This is going to be all dupes. 2 dupes in a row. Two dupes in a row. We got a 2 pair of cards I already owned. That does not make you guys look great. And there are no master. Okay, so that's why. Half Alive. These are the special packs. So I think I may already have a lot of the cards in here. So wouldn't be surprised if I get a lot of dupes. Skeleton Horror, Descend 6. It's got Vigilance and Menace, and it's a 6/4 for 17. At the beginning of your turn, Descend support level 6 or more on this card is in your graveyard. Return it to the battlefield under your control. Then reinforce this creature. That's a lot of hoops to jump through for just an okay card. Rampaging Ceratops. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if your opponent controls 3 or more creatures with their base power 3 or less, including their reinforcements, this creature loses unblockable until the beginning of your turn. Same card. I think there's just going to be a lot of dupes. Yeah. So not super impressed by either of these, but still they're uncommon, so what gotta have a somewhat realistic expectations here. Blood Rage Mycoid. At the beginning of turn, if you descended this turn, create a fungus token. Ooh, okay. Bonehorde Dracosaur. 6/6. It's got a Berserker, Flying, but also First Strike. Beginning of your turn, discover 4. Whoa, okay. Then gain 6 mana. Oh, alright. Alright. At the end of your turn, create a red dinosaur token, then create a gold token. So this is a good little combo engine. Discover 4 is very intriguing. And you get 6 mana to go on top of the mana you gain by discovering. And Discover 4 is pretty good because you get to choose from the next 4 cards in your library. At the end of your turn, create a red dinosaur token, then create a gold token. So I'm wondering if the red dinosaur is any good, but still, you get a lot of stuff out of this card. This is a really good card. Scytheclaw Raptor is a fun one. It's so what does the red dinosaur do? It's a 3/1. Okay, so you get a lot out of this card, as long as you can keep it on the board. Fortunately, it has First Strike. I do like that about it, because if you can pump it up through other means, then you're probably not going to be losing it too quickly. And also, none of his abilities are dependent on you dealing combat damage to. I feel like a lot of times that would have been a very Octagon thing to do, is to put the best effects behind a condition like that. So good on you, Webcore, for designing a card that looks actually very good to use. What's the fungus token? Okay, yeah, it's just one of those 1/1 fungus tokens. We've been going along for a while here. So let me see what else, and then we'll move on to the fun stuff in a minute. Oh, got a dupe Galta. Wow, dupe Bonehorde Dinosaur. Whoa, 2 of them in a 3 of these in a row. So yeah, if you're planning on spending a bit of money, well, you have a good chance of getting that dinosaur. So not saying you should, no guarantees, but that is some nice luck there. Okay, moving on. We got the Friends booster pack. So I got Abuelo. Let's see what else I got from this pack. We got Animpakal. This creature attacks. This creature gets +1/+1. At the beginning of your turn, create X gnome tokens. X is this creature's power. Okay. The gnomes are just like 1-2 tokens, right? But that can get pretty big pretty fast, right? All you need to do... Ooh, what's this guy? Sovereign Alkanek Ahau. Drain 6 mana from your hand ward. Beginning of combat, your turn, creatures get +X until end of turn. X is the greatest power among other creatures you control. Alright. That's pretty good. That can get very out of hand very quickly. I like. That's going to be fun. Especially with Moon Shaker Cavalry. Yeah. That's a fun one. One for the Timmies, but I like it too. Yeah, both these cards are gonna be fun. What else we got? Oh, this is going to be a fun card. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may discard a card. If you do, your first creature gets +2/+2. Then that creature gains trample until end of turn. When you discard a card, discover 2. So every time you discard a card, you get to use discover. So you may discard a card. Okay. So when you discard a card, okay. So this is going to be. There are a lot of cards that make you discard your own cards in red. So, it remains to be seen how useful this card will be, but I do think that this will be a pretty good card. It's a 2/2, but only costs 5 mana. I'm looking forward to seeing how that card actually works. Send 4. At the beginning of combat on your turn to send support is levels 4 more. This creature, that's very weak. Create a gnome token. They really like the gnomes in this set, don't they? So 3 fun cards from this pack so far. Echo of Dusk. We'll look into that in a bit here. Descend 2. At the beginning of your turn, descend support levels 2 or more. This creature gets +1/+1 and lifelink until end of turn. There are much easier ways to get lifelink than this crappy creature. Spyglass Siren. When this card enters the battlefield, create a map token. I'm not impressed with map tokens, so. Another cat. Dude. Mythic cat. So it looks to be like there's a high chance of getting a mythic and some rares in all these. So good to think about. Okay, I think we might be in a different pack set now. When this creature attacks, create a vampire token. When a vampire creature can control attacks, opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. At the end of your turn, if you have full life, draw a card, then you lose 3 life. I don't think that's that great of a card. This creature explores 2 when it enters the battlefield. It's okay. It's fairly cheap for the effect. At the end of your turn, if you descended this turn, create a gold token. Veto, I already had Veto, but it's a pretty decent card because that Vampire Demon token gets fairly big fairly fast. But it's not a great card, but it's a decent mythic that I'm having a good time mastering. So what kind of cards are these now? Explorers Booster Pack. So far, I've liked the Dinos and the Friends pack the most. It's going to be all dupes. More dupes. So pretty good chance of getting mythics out of these packs here. So normally I don't love advocating for people to spend money to get non-guaranteed cards in this game, but the odds are pretty good that you might get get some rares and mythics for your money. So yeah, up to you guys. Decide how you feel about that. Sunbird Standard. Oh yeah, this seemed like a pretty interesting card. It's 14 mana, craft 2 creature. At the beginning of your turn, create 4 gems to your Planeswalker's color. That's a really good effect. That's better than most lands. When this card, and it's colorless. So when this card is crafted, exile this card and create a Sunbird Effigy token. We'll have to see what that is. This creature attacks. If you control another creature, this creature gets +1/+1. If you don't control support, name the map, create it. I mean, at least it triggers whenever it attacks. But I don't know. That's probably not strong enough to really do much for us. This creature enters the battlefield. Create X gnome tokens. X is this creature's power. Okay. So this might be a good little token engine. When a gnome and yome, when a gnome creature you control dies or loses a reinforcement, this creature gets +1/+1. So if you throw some imminent death on those gnomes for whatever reason, that's good. At the beginning of turn, you may have target creature you control lose a reinforcement. Okay, if you do, this creature gains double strike. You know, this is not a bad card for, it's colorless, it's only 9 mana, and you get a lot out of it. Not a bad card. Threefold Thunderhulk. Yeah, that's definitely playable. Oticlon Landmark. When this support enters the board, draw a card. When this card is crafted, exile this card, create Oticlon Levitator token. So we'll see what that is. Okay, Sunbird Effigy. Token with flying, vigilance, and haste. Okay. At the beginning of your turn, this creature gets +X/+X until end of turn. X is the number of different creatures in your graveyard. That's not a bad token creature, but let's be real. We're playing this card to get 4 gems of our Planeswalker's color, right? No doubt about that. And then this Levitator token, Golem with flying. When a creature attacks random creature you control without flying gains flying and first strike until end of turn. Unless a card has like vigilance or something on it, first strike isn't usually something I really care that much about, I gotta say. Activate 1, gain 3 mana. When this support is destroyed, discover 2. It's too many hoops to go through for not a lot of payoff. Thousand Moon Smithy. When the support enters the battlefield, create a gnome soldier token. So how's that different than a gnome? Begin combat on your turn. If you control 3 or more artifact supports or 3 creatures, just transform this card. When this creature enters the battlefield, you may pick one of the first 3 land cards from your library. If you do, fetch that card. We already have creatures that do that for us, I believe, in standard. So I think this is the Artificer packs that we're going through now. So what is the Gnome Soldier? When he returns, creature's base power and toughness become X till end of turn. X is the number of okay, that's not bad. Again, Guillaume, very good card to pair with this set because there's so many things that interact with the amount of artifacts on the board. So yeah. Definitely go chase Guillaume if you don't own it yet. Convert 2 gems to loyalty gems. Okay, when you activate a loyalty ability for the first time in your turn, create a gnome soldier token. Okay. So if there are more ways to get gnome soldier tokens on the board to make that base power toughness really impactful, then I think I'll like this card more. Right now, it's decent, but nothing too exciting. One more pack. Let's see if we get a mythic. Nope, not this time. Already had that rare. So I got a couple of rares, but nothing that amazing in it. All right. We still have more packs to go through because we got a bunch of elite packs in our inbox earlier. And so we can go through and see what we get out of these. So, rare cards. This is what I can get from these packs here. So let's see if we get... I don't have great luck with these, so we're going to see what we get out of the rares. Okay, cool. We got a mythic. First thing, the rare pack. At the beginning of your turn, increase this card's level by 10. At the end of your turn, if this card's level is 100 or more, deal 100 damage to your opponent's planeswalker. It's an interesting effect, but you still have to wait 10 turns to deal 100 damage to your opponent. And if you're a good deck builder, it shouldn't take you 10 turns to do that through other means. But it's an interesting card. How should I say it? It's kind of a ticking time bomb of a card. I'm not saying it's not a useful card. It's far from useless. But if you're relying on it as a win con, it might not be the best strategy. Anyhow, that's just my initial thought for it. I might use it more and decide I like it or really not like it. But it sounds cooler than I think it actually is in practice. Another new card. When a creature you control deals combat damage to your opponent's planeswalker, double that damage. So I got two of the mythics out of the way of this elite pack, so pretty good luck. I almost wish I got a new rare, because those are actually harder to pull from elite packs than mythics are, because I can guarantee myself getting a mythic if I spend the jewels on them in a way that I can't guarantee getting certain rares. So let's see what we get. So this is Elite Booster number 1. So I'm gonna save that for my reference. So we get Hall of Gemstone or Golden Wing. So I'm guaranteed to get at least one of my Chase masterpieces from this set. So let's see what we get. Okay, so we're going to get Oger, Axonil, Deepest Might. When this creature deals combat damage to a creature, deal that much damage to a random opposing target. Okay? When this creature dies, transform this card, then return this card to the battlefield under your control. And what does it do when it transforms? Convert 3 gems to red. That's a solid land. When a support or spell card deals 4 more damage during your turn, destroy this card. If you do, transform this card. So you may destroy this card, so you don't have to destroy it, or does it automatically destroy it for you? So I would rather have that convert 3 gems to red on the board at all times. So that makes me maybe have to build around things that I don't necessarily want to, if it forces you to transform the card. But, you know, solid creature, 5/5 with Berserker and First Strike. We like First Strike on Berserker. And it could do a decent amount of damage. So, pretty good mythic. Is it my favorite? No, but definitely playable. And let's see, what masterpiece do I get? Hall of Gemstone. Sweet. I mean, I was going to be happy with either of these. Mana field, gain an extra swap, then increase your mana bonuses by 7 until end of turn. So that's awesome. For green, oh my god. Trap 8. Deal 10 damage to a random opposing creature. So you're doing so many good things. Terrible things to your opponent, but good things for you. And so it's 15 mana with 4 shields. Yeah, super good masterpiece. God, this is gonna annoy whoever I go up against a lot. Pack that support destruction, because if not, you are going to have a really bad time if you're playing creatures. All right, let's move on to the Elite Pack number 2. Let's see what we can get out of this one. Blood's Awakening. So I don't have most of the cards in this pack, so let's see what we end up getting from it. Trumpeting Carnosaur. When this creature enters the battlefield, discover 4. We like discover 4. This creature attacks deal 3 damage to the first opposing creature. I've been going for a while now, so I think my brain is starting to tire out on me. It's a 7/6 with trample for 13 mana, which is not terrible. But I like discover 4 when this creature enters the battlefield. So I'm thinking those cards that let you flicker your creatures. Flickering just means, if you're not familiar, you exile a card and then put it back on the battlefield instantly. So you're basically like kind of re-summoning a card. So it's really good for enter the board effects, and this is a pretty good enter the board effect. So if I didn't have that other dino, the mythic red dino already, then I might be more psyched about this card. But it's not a bad card for sure. And then we got the cat. Again, my 4th cat. It's a good card, but do I need 3 duplicates of it? No. Let's view what we can get out of here. So, I'm actually not super familiar with any of these cards, so whatever I get is going to be an interesting discovery for me as well. Curse of Opulence. When a creature attacks, create 2 treasure tokens. When a player matches a treasure supports gem, create a treasure token. So Nalthazar already covered this card in detail on one of his spoiler videos. So I won't go over it too much, but when a player matches a treasure supports gem, create a treasure token. There's a lot that... It's a combo piece, and I'm not totally sold on how great of a combo piece it's going to be, but it is an enchantment, it is a curse. So there are cards that interact with both of those things. So a creature attack, create 2 treasure tokens. So the thing I'm most interested in discovering is if it creates 2 treasure tokens for you only, or is it creating treasure tokens for your opponent too? So once you could control all treasure support. So treasures just give you a little bit of mana when you match them. Okay. Next. Another masterpiece. It's a dino, 20 mana for 7/3 with trample. So far not amazing. At the beginning of your turn, this creature gets +X. X is this creature's power. Okay. That's pretty good. When this creature attacks, discover 4. That's good. For each of the pick cards, if it's a dinosaur card, move that card to play under your control. Nice. Then move all cards that weren't fetched this way to the bottom of your library. So this is going to be awesome to pair together with Galta, any of my other dinos, the red mythic dino, really any of those. Yeah, any of my interesting dinos that I just got is going to be a really good pairing with this card. So really the main thing is just getting this creature on the board, but we got Blossoming Tortoise, so we hopefully will do that not without a lot of fuss and such. So pretty happy with this card. Can get very strong and has a lot of great effects to go with it. Cool. And finally getting to the last cards here. If you watch this whole thing with me, thanks so much. I don't take that amount of attention given to me lightly. It's very hard to get people to watch an entire YouTube video. Believe me, I've looked at the analytics. So shout yourself out in the comments if you are with me at this point. I will send you a bunch of heart emojis. Okay, a dupe artifact card. So our luck is starting to run out here, perhaps. Yep, dupe mythic. So this one, Get Lost. Okay, so let's see what we can actually get in this elite pack here. Ensnaring Bridge. Oh, I didn't even know I got Ensnaring Bridge. When did that happen? Maybe they just gave it to me in one of the packs and I just totally missed it. So there are some interesting mythics in this pack. So this is Elite Pack 3, so I'm going to save that for reference. And let's see what we get. Brass Tunnel Grinder. It's a masterpiece, so I've been doing well with getting masterpieces out of the elite packs recently, which is cool. When this support enters the board, discard all cards without mana from your hand. Okay, then draw that many cards plus 1. Okay, these cards gain 2 mana for each of this support's shield. So at the very least, you're going to be getting 6 mana out of those cards, right? Am I reading that correctly? At the end of combat on your turn, if you match one or more support gems this turn, increase this card's level by 1. At the beginning of your turn, if this card's level is 2 or more, transform this card. Okay. And then what does it do? At the beginning of your turn, convert 5 gems to one of the colors of your greatest mana bonuses. Then if the last card in your hand has full mana, discover 4. That's pretty strong. I like that. Converting 5 gems, very good. Then if the last card in your hand has full mana, discover 4. We like discover 4. Very good card. Red has been getting a lot better cards in terms of mana ramp lately, which I'm very happy to see. I feel like red and maybe white a little bit, but especially red has been suffering a lot from falling behind in terms of mana generation. So I feel like red traditionally has more at its disposal in terms of powering up your cards with mana. So it's good to see red making a bit of a comeback lately in this set for sure. So yeah, red's going to be fun to play again. I'm happy about that. When red is good, the game is better, I think. Okay, now our final card in our spoiler here. The Ancient One. Spirit God. It's an 8/8 with Trample and Defender for 11 mana. That's a pretty good ratio. Descend 4. Oh yeah, it's that whole complicated descend support thing. At the beginning of your turn, if your descend support level is 4 or more, this creature loses Defender and gains Leader Spirit. Leader Spirit, that's awesome. Okay. At the beginning, activate 3 blue or black. Discard a card, then draw a card. Then your opponent discards each other card of their hand that has the same base cost of this discarded card. That part of it is very dependent on a lot of different things going well. I mean, it can be a very powerful effect, but we'll just have to see how often that triggers. But pretty cool card. Another masterpiece. Look at that. I got almost all masterpieces from my elite packs, which is cool. Yeah, this is one that I definitely want to see if I can get to that Descend 4 as fast as I can, because Leader Spirit is awesome, because pairing this with Hallowed Haunting, things like that create a lot of spirit tokens, this thing's going to be huge. So it's going to be a lot of things going the right way for you to make this card really cool, but there's potential in it. I don't know. I'm not super into this card. I feel like I should be more into it than I am, but it's pretty cool. The fact that it has Defender makes it vulnerable, but if I pair it with, Ram or Sigarda, that will also help. So yeah, it's definitely a Johnny card, as Steve would make fun of us about. It's a lot of hoops to jump through. It might be fun. This is one of those cards where once I'm sick of playing with my other cards, I might get into really trying to make this one good. But it's a back burner card. Let's put it that way. All right. Well, let's see. Free booster. Before I go and before I forget, let me just open this. Sorry, I'm just doing my game chores right now at this point, but I want this guy, so I'm gonna go ahead and pay for it with my stored jewels. Golden Wish. Fetch the first 2 artifact support Vanguard cards from your library. Those cards gain full mana, then convert 2 gems to loyalty gems. I am obviously gonna bring Jaleva back into some of my decks so that I can pull this card for free. What a great card this is, man. Converting 20 gems to loyalty gems. If you watch Steve's YouTube stream, he was wondering if converting 20 gems to loyalty gems would just get you to 30 loyalty right off the bat. It might not, but 20 gems to loyalty gems is definitely going to give you a ton of loyalty. I feel like there's no way around that, right? 20 gems is a lot. It'll take absolutely crap luck to get no loyalty gem matches out of converting 20 gems. So very powerful card, 2 awesome effects. If this card had only one of these effects on it, it'd still be worth playing. So I definitely wanted to chase this card. I'm really glad I have the chance to. So yeah, there you go. Well, thanks guys for checking out my video, and thanks again Webcore for sending me so much good loot. I got so many good cards out of it. It's definitely gonna supercharge my ability to find synergies and showcase them in this video. So if you're not subscribed and you're looking forward to seeing what I can do with these cards that I just got, make sure to do so. And I hope to have a lot more videos in the coming weeks, depending on how busy I get with real life things. But I'll do my best to not only discover fun stuff, but showcase it here for you. So have fun, and yeah, I'll see you soon.